All right, let's finish up with these last few questions. Question 5, if you answer something along the lines of like, if you just need to know the 35th term. If you know the 35th term, you can actually figure out the rest of the summation. You can actually kind of create an equation. If you know what the 35th term is, then in a way, then you can use that to calculate just about everything else in terms of that. And if you're wanting to know exactly how, number 6 is kind of a good example of that. But well, I didn't necessarily grade number 5 just because I didn't necessarily like the question. So I gave everyone credit for it. I just didn't mark it green. So I kind of gave every one of you a freebie for number 5, and we're just going to leave it at that. But again, number 6 is a decent example of number 5. It's similar, but we're dealing with the first 13 terms, and I'll show you what we mean by it. So number 6, this one's probably one of the harder ones on the actual test because they're telling you the summation of the first 13 terms is equal to this. They've told you that the 9th term is equal to negative 608 or 68, excuse me. And then now they want you to find the common difference. Well, let's think about what you have and what you don't have. You don't have the common difference. You do know the 9th term, so technically you can write it as n minus 9 plus 68, right? You could actually, yeah, you could write the explicit equation like that. We just don't know what the common difference is. The summation, we know what it is. It's negative 702. But again, the summation formula for a finite arithmetic would be that summation, which I'll call S sub 13, is going to equal 13 divided by 2 times the first term plus the 13th term. But I don't know what the 13th term actually is. But I do know what the first term and the 13th should add up to be. So let me just rewrite it really quick. Because what I'll do is I'll just divide by 6.5. That's what 13 over 2 is. If I get my little calculator out here. go away. 702. Stop it. Divided by 6.5. Leave me alone, keyboard. 0.5. I don't want to do this all day. Stop it. Gives me 108. Thank you. Go away. So that's negative 108 equal to the first term plus the 13th term. So we have a few kind of issues going on here in that I don't know what the first term is. I don't know what the 13th term is. And then I'm trying to find the common difference. So there's a lot of unknowns here. But I could use this equation here. Again, that equation came from knowing just the 9th term. I just don't know the common difference. So the 13th term, if we think about it, is going to equal the distance or the common difference times n minus 9. Oh, sorry, that should be a minus 68. Let's do this one, minus 68. And I just want to kind of show this because then I could technically, again, oh, I forgot. Let me change this up a little bit. Let's put 13 in there because now I know what my 13th term is going to be. It's going to be 4d minus 68. So that's my 13th term, right? And so then I could use that and plug in here. But then the issue is, well, shoot, now I don't know the difference and I don't know the first term. So this is where maybe some of the tears started to fly. Well, one of the things that we could do, and let me present that idea to you, is right now, I don't know what this is. But again, the general form is this for arithmetic explicit formula. Usually we use the first term. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the first term in here because there's a first term here. And you'll see why in a little bit. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in the 9th term. So again, the 9th term is negative 68. So negative 68 is going to equal the common difference times, in this case, what is it? The 9th term, so that'd be 8. So that's now 8d plus the first term. You might be like, wait, that looks just like what you had, but it's a little different because now I have the first term involved here. Okay. So now, knowing that right there is my, I have a way of solving for the first term because I can minus the 8d over And now I've got a formula that is solved for the first term. Okay, now follow with me. Here comes the fun part. So if I were to plug in 13 again into here, let me just rewrite it really quick. 13 goes into that one. This would be, again, minus 9, right? Yeah. So if I plug 13 in there, that would be 40, right? It's 4D minus 68. So now here's the cool part. Well, now I can replace the 13th with that one, and I can replace the first with that one. So now, if after replacing it, I don't know if you're still following me, you only have one variable, which is D. So it'll be plus 4D minus 68, and I know that kind of slid off the, there we go. And the cool part is now there's just D, and I can just combine some like terms. So this negative 108 equals, what is that? Negative 68 plus negative 68, that's negative 136. Minus 4D, add 136 over, that should be 28. On the left side, negative 4D on the right, divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4. My common difference is negative 7, and that is exactly what we wanted to find. So we went through this huge long process, and a lot of it was making the assumption like, hey, I know what the first term is, or I don't know what the first term is. But the way that arithmetic sequences work out is they usually need the first term, right? So if I know, going back here, I don't know the first term, but I know the last term, well, technically that last term or any term in there is going to have the first term kind of built into it, which is what we kind of utilized here, okay? So again, that is probably one of the harder questions on there. Again, that's number 6. But again, we're just having to figure out what do we have, what do we need. And I understand if you were stressed on time and couldn't figure that one quite out. Moving on to number 7. This one again isn't terrible, but if you recognize it's geometric, that's a plus. You are multiplying by 3. So if I write out my explicit formula here, this would be my first term. Or let's do it this way. A sub n equals my first term times 3 raised to the n minus 1. And the reason why I do that is because I need to, looking at the formula for finite geometric, I need the first term times 1 minus r to the n divided by 1 minus r. So I know my r, I know my first value, I just don't know what term number this is. So that's why I need my explicit formula. So now all it is just setting this equal to your explicit equation and then solving for it, which means you're going to need to use some logs here. Hopefully this doesn't bother me again. I'm hoping go away. 3, there we go. Hopefully it's just a one-time thing. Nope. Apparently it thinks I want it here and I don't. Gives me that value. Perfect. Negative 19683 equal to 3n minus 1. So now that should be positive, excuse me, because you divided by negative. There we go. So now solving that, like you're trying to figure out 3 times itself, how many times gives you that number. If you're trying to just do that by hand, I guess you'll figure it out. But the key thing here is it's a little easier if you just log both sides. Because now if you log both sides, you can use power rule. The n minus 1 comes down. And then I just have to divide by log of 3. Divide by log of 3. And then I believe you get 11 equal to n minus 1. Or I know, I think it's 12. Wait, no, I think it's, what is it? I don't remember. I'll do it really quick. Hopefully this doesn't take too much time. Okay, yeah, thanks. Where's my log? Log. No, go away. Oh, this is annoying. I think it's 9. I really do think it's 9. But I just want to show you exactly what this would be. Give me a second. Go away. 1, 9. Okay, I want to just disable that, but we'll deal with it later. Now 1968683. Okay, divided by log of 3 is 9. There we go. Sorry that took so long. And then add 1 over and you get n equal to 10. And now that I know n equals 10, all I have to do is just use, again, I've kind of messed up a little bit, this equation, -2 times 1 minus, what do you multiply by? 3 raised to the 10th power, divided by 1 minus, what are you multiplying by? In this case, it's 3. You would type that into the calculator, and that would give you the value. You can see the actual answer on GoFormative. I'm not going to type it in because I'm having issues doing this right now with Desmos. I don't want the keyboard coming up anymore. But if you type that in, you should arrive at the same answer that's in the GoFormative. Okay. All right. I'm going to try and speed this through just a little bit faster because I only have about 4 minutes left. So number 8, this was a little tricky. Again, we want to have it look like this if it's a infinite geometric series. So I need to figure out what the first term is, but do you see the denominator doesn't have a 1 in there? So if you factor 4 out, you get 1 plus 6 over 4 x to the 4th, which really, if you rewrite that, you'll see that a 2 will cancel out here. And I can simplify the 6 over 4 to be 3 over 2. So now if I look at it, this is really 1/2. Again, all I did is this is 1 divided by 2. So that's really like 1/2. It's my first term. 1 plus 3 over 2 x to the 4th. And if you compare that to this formula right here, I know my first term is 1/2. I know my r is equal to, in this case, -3 over 2 x to the 4th. Because since it's a plus, it has to be a negative. And then I just kind of build it from there. So it'd be 1/2 times this. So it'd be -3 over 4 x to the 4th. The next term I just multiply by -3/2 and then x to the 4th. So that'd be positive 9 over 8 x to the 8th. And then again, minus 27 over 16 x to the 16th. And that would be, oh, sorry, x to the, what is that, 12th? Excuse me. There we go. And that would be it. That would be it. Okay. All right. So in our final little bit of time that I have on this video, let's talk about number 9. So again, you're given a geometric infinite sum. It sums up to this. So again, this has to equal 8. I know my first term. What's your r value? What does that equal? Well, it's multiplying by what? Well, looks like it goes from -2 to +4, and +4 to -8. So I'm multiplying by -2, and there's an x in there. So I'll replace r with -2x. Or, right, let me do that. So this would become, that's negative, so that's positive, because you're subtracting negative. So now you're just solving this. So cross multiply, this would be 1 equal to 8 plus 16x. Solve for x. And then you'll get -7 equal to 16x. Divide by 16, divide by 16. And there's your answer right there. So that one isn't terrible. And I get it if you got caught up with the x's. It is a little bit more of a challenge. But again, your constant ratio is multiplying by -2x. And then you're just using the same equation here to finish it up. And there you go.